Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. If you enjoy our content, please consider donating and following our socials.
Well, Lord Knight, this is a first for Pagan Coffee Talk. We are going to we're going to see what happens today. This is an experiment. So we are
A big experiment.
Yeah. So we are at Carolina Pagan Fest in the suburbs, the woods basically of Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And we are here with Lord Lou's group and loads and loads of other pagans and vendors, and literally we're in the woods.
We're in the woods.
It's fantastic.
With a bunch of pagans.
Yep. So we are going to be doing some recordings and some interviews, and we're going to try to talk to people and bring the pagans to the podcast. Or the podcast to the pagans? I don't know. We'll go with both.
I know.
Yeah.
You know,
all right.
When that guy wouldn't go to the mountain came to him, right?
That's what I've heard. That's the rumor.
Let's see if that works.
So I'm thinking we're going to... In case you didn't hear that, the 11:30 classes are beginning. So we're going to go ahead and grab some coffee and get this show on the road.
All right.
Wonderful.
Hi, Becky. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So you're here with free mom hugs, right?
Yes.
How did you get involved in this?
I actually helped start the chapter here in South Carolina.
Okay.
6 years ago.
All right.
For me, I had a couple of friends that had been together for 30 years, and they had been strong together, and their families just wouldn't really acknowledge that they were a couple.
Right.
They'd be like, when are y'all going to move out from each other's homes and get married and give us some grandchildren, even though everybody knew aunts and so when they could get married in 2018, they decided to get married, and a lot of their family didn't come, and so our group of friends showed up and stood in, and we were their family for the day. So about a year later, I heard about Free Mom Hugs, and I knew that it was desperately needed because I had witnessed firsthand how people can be abandoned by their family, ignored, or put on a shelf for what they believe and who they love. And so I wanted to make sure that the upstate community had that.
So what does Free Hugs do? I mean, what do y'all actually do?
Okay, so we will stand in at weddings, graduations, baby showers, places where families should be, but can't be or won't be, regardless of the reasons. We go and we try to fill in that space. Now, we know we can't replace someone's mother. That's a hole that I can't fill, but I can at least offer them a softer place to land during those times. Mm-hmm. And so we just go, we do that. We're at pride events such as this here, offering hugs and support and just letting people know that we love them and we see them, that they're valid and that we all are. And that we want them to know that they have a community that they can lean on, lean into, and count on.
Well, now I got to ask, do y'all teach hugging techniques? Actually,
That's a great question, because we do, because first, consent is key. You don't go and just hug someone without their permission. Not everyone wants to be touched. So when they don't want to be hugged, we offer fist bumps, elbow bumps, so a good cheer. You know, you get different kind of hugs. There's some people that hug you that side hug, like you're hugging your stinky Aunt Edna. And then we have folks that, you know, are happy and it's a joyous hug. And then you reach those folks who really need that space, that sacred space of being held, and just that touch that maybe they've not had in a while from someone who they look at as, you know, a mother or a grandmother. You don't have to be a mother to hug.
No.
We offer dad hugs, gunkle hugs, sibling hugs, because, you know, we don't know what you need. You know, you may need a motherly figure. You may need a more fatherly presence. You may need a sibling. So, you know, we try to make sure that there's someone there always present for whatever need they may have in that moment. Like I said, be it the joyful, or if it's that lean into, to quote Glennon Doyle, she did a word called brutal, and it's when the work that you do is brutal and beautiful all at the same time. And so I think this work it's brutal work, and it's much needed
I
everywhere.
agree.
We started in Oklahoma, and now we have a chapter in all 50 states, Australia, and Japan.
Oh, cool.
So this mission grew really fast, faster than anyone would have thought it would. And in some cases, we grew faster than the infrastructure. And so we have had to, reevaluate as we went through, because we didn't, Sarah Cunningham, our founder, had no idea this was going to be what it is. She started when her son came out, and she was trying to reconcile her faith and the love she had for her child. And so she went to a pride parade with them in a handmade button that said "Free Mom Hugs," and she stood on the corner at Pride and offered hugs that day. And it changed. It changed her whole perspective.
On what's
So she had made a Facebook post that said, if your family won't come to your same-sex wedding, I'll be there. I'll be your biggest fan. I'll even bring the bubbles. That post went viral, and 4 months later, there were chapters in 30 states.
So what's your hope for the future for this?
A year ago, my hope was that I would hug myself out of a position that I would not be needed. My goal would be to be obsolete.
Okay.
But that is not where we are right now.
No, but it's a good goal to have. I agree with you there. I like that. So how long have you been in this community, pagan community-ish?
Last year was my first Pagan Fest, and I fell in love. I did not realize that this community was here. I had been by myself practicing for decades. And so when we heard about Pagan Fest, I was like, I want us to be there too.
Okay.
And so I reached out, and they offered us a space last year.
Yes.
And they've not been able to get rid of me since.
I love that.
But we just want to be where we're needed, and that's everywhere. It really is. It's everywhere.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell our listeners about the organization or yourself?
I would just want people to love their people, to just love them, accept them, and don't ostracize people who are different than you because you don't understand. Take time to know people and just to offer them that love and that acceptance, because you don't know whether or not they're getting it in their own circles.
I can believe that.
Group hug!
Group
Group hug, we gotta do it! Squishies! Okay. We gotta get Becky some coffee.
Yes. Becky, thank you. And
Thank you.
hey,
Hey!
I haven't seen you in so long.
I know.
So, I mean, this is like the second event we've came to.
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
So, all right, let's talk. What's going on?
Well, what you see around you, we got our church booth set up over there, and when we saw each other last, we were at Hearthfire
Right.
in Gastonia, and that's a project that I've been working on that I'm very pleased with.
Oh, can we hear a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's a day event that you can compare it to the old Pagan Pride Day events
Right.
that used to really be ubiquitous, but we don't see as many of them anymore, especially in the Charlotte area.
Right.
So it felt like there was a need
Yeah.
for something that would let people from different groups, individuals that aren't affiliated, to have something where they could come together and really connect with their community. So we searched around for some imagery, for some mythic hook that could draw us in, and it was just right there, the hearth,
Right.
to pull people together. And that's what we did. Last year we did it. Tried it in September, and it was too hot, and
It was a little warm.
it was a little warm, and it was we've tweaked the formula a little bit. We've tried to restrict the number of vendors so that the focus of the group didn't become just another pop-up market.
Right.
We wanted it to really be geared toward and focused on the building of community, with workshops and rituals. And the big goal is to have people from different parts of the pagan community who don't always see each other. It was so good to see you there, because it had been a long time since I'd seen you. But it was great, because there you were. And you know, it was just wonderful to reconnect and to see people with fresh faces that had never been part of the community before.
True, it has.
So I'm very excited about the Hearthfire project.
Okay.
Which is not technically a Church of Wicca project, although the church was involved, served as one of the sponsors. But I want it to be grassroots. I want the community to own the festival, rather than it being something that one group does for everybody. I want it to be something that everyone comes together and does together.
Okay. So what's going on with your church then?
Well, the church is
Let's
going.
jump lanes.
the church is going like gangbusters. So we just last year paid off the mortgage on our land.
Okay.
So we are a landed organization. What pleases me about it is that the acreage that we own is in the church's name.
Okay.
It's not something that one of the members owns and we get to use. The church owns it, so that even when I'm gone, when everyone else is gone, and it's a whole new crop of people, it's still there. And so that's lovely.
Oh, that's really exciting.
We don't have a building, but I don't know that we ever want one. We want to worship outdoors. We'll eventually get some amenities in. Some better parking situation. A covered area. I think of it as like an open air chapel would be nice. Something that is just a presence.
All right.
And it's been good. I'm proud of us. Because you were with us.
Yes. I was there when y'all first got started.
You were. You saw us in our infancy, and that was a long time ago.
Oh God, yes.
To the best of my knowledge, we were the first legally incorporated Wiccan church in the state.
Yes.
And it's a distinction that I think is important. There were obviously we weren't the first Wiccan group, or not the biggest, not the most active, but we made an impression in a legal sense that I think is important and brought us forward. So I'm proud of us in that regard. And I'm proud of our longevity.
Oh, God, yes. Because y'all have been around quite a while. Mm-hmm. So anything else going on? What are we looking at the future? And
let's see, the future, I hope more Hearthfire, more things for the church to do. We are doing monthly discussion groups, monthly book clubs. I am hoping, and we've been working on this for a long time, is a teaching program that will be open to people outside of the organization.
Okay.
The idea of it is to provide in PDF form lessons that people can take and work through on their own.
All right.
Sort of like a year and a day program.
But more like self-study at the same time?
But more like self-study at the same time. Something that'll give people access to solid information. Because, you look around and the younger generation coming up, they don't have the organizations that we had. Mm-hmm. They don't have access to things that we did in the same way that we did. They rely on resources that maybe they don't have the discernment to navigate.
Right.
We're looking at witch talk and a lot of social media information, and we would like to give them, a baseline so that they can work on something.
Well, there's something to be said to that face-to-face.
There's absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, social media has its place, but face-to-face like me and you are right now is a whole lot different than any of that stuff. And there's a little bit more spiritual to me.
Agreed, and there's no substitute for it.
No.
But the point is people are going to get information regardless, and I can't complain about them thinking weird stuff unless I give them an alternative.
No, I can understand that. Anything else you'd like to talk about right quick?
No, I want to say that I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be.
You know what? I would really appreciate it if you told everybody how to get a hold of you and your organizations.
You can reach the Church of Wicca through our website, www.churchofwicca.org. We're also active on Facebook. If you're interested in Hearthfire, and I hope you are, it's an event local to Gastonia, North Carolina, but we pull people in from upstate South Carolina, the entire Metrolina region, and you can reach us at www.hearthfire-festival.com.
Okay. All right.
Talk some about the church itself and really the journey to get to, my goodness, you guys, there's a history.
Yeah, there is a history there.
Well, what started the church is years ago, my wife and I were looking for a group to belong to. We wanted to practice, and we didn't want to practice on our own. And we looked at some covens, we looked at some different groups, and the barriers to meeting were substantial. Sometimes, you had to drive a long way.
Right.
Sometimes the commitments involved were beyond what we could make. In Shelby, North Carolina, I'm standing around and I notice that on every street corner there is a Christian church. And if you come into any town in the South and you're a Christian and you want to connect to your community and your faith, then you can slide into the back pew of any Baptist church one Sunday morning, and before 2 o'clock that afternoon, you know a mechanic, you know a dentist, there's a lady giving you a pie and a plate of biscuits, and I wanted Wiccans and Pagans to have access to at least some small slice of that. I wanted something that was accessible, something that did not make a lot of demands up front, something that someone who was curious or seeking could slide into at their own level, contribute what they could, and take from it what they needed.
Yeah.
And I ran into a man named Pagan Hill, whom you may have remembered meeting. It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
But he had talked with a lawyer and had worked up some basic bylaws for a church structure, and had started an organization in South Carolina. And he was kind enough to give us access to those resources. And we put a call out for people who are interested in starting that kind of organization. We ended up with, there were maybe half a dozen of us in the back meeting room of a Quincy's.
I remember that.
There in Shelby, North Carolina. And we went through those bylaws article by article. And things we liked, we kept. And things we wanted to change, we changed. Mm-hmm. And things that we didn't like, we threw out. And we had a document that represented everybody there and what they saw as their vision of the church. So with that collective ownership, we passed the hat and came up with I think, $60 that it takes to file in North Carolina at the time, and we did. And before the end bulk of that year, we had our incorporation all settled out, and we celebrated our first Sabbath together, and we just went ahead from there.
And it's been how many years now?
That was in 1999. So it has been a while. It has been a while.
I don't remember being that young, but I do remember being in the back of that Quincy's.
Well, what I liked about it is you could get a steak and the buffet on the side.
I just remember liking the rolls.
Oh God, those rolls were so good.
Thank you.
Why can't they do that anymore? What happened to Quincy's?
What happened? What happened to the rolls?
Clearly, you gentlemen are hungry.
Yes.
I'm just saying they were good rolls.
They were good rolls.
But I know since then one of the things that has driven us is the idea of a smooth and frequent transitions in leadership.
Okay.
So we have term limits built in on the business side of things. Our chancellor changes hands every 3 years is the term, and they're term limited to 2 terms. So we're on our 5th, 6th, 7th. I don't know how far in. Chancellor. I think we're on our 3rd high priest, our 4th or 5th high priestess, and we move from those positions to other positions, and that it keeps us from building up around a personality.
Right.
With this, we work on the structure and the organization above that.
Right.
So the membership selects the council ordains the clergy, and so it's the hand of everyone involved up to the highest level. It's grassroots up rather than a top-down philosophy.
Okay.
And I'm not being critical of any other structures.
No, that's fine.
I'm just saying that it.
Again, it's the way y'all operate. It's not the way everybody does.
Exactly.
And that's fine.
It was important. It was important to me to see that vision, and I'm so pleased that it's happened.
Well, I mean, again, with you saying that, I mean, I tell people all the time, religion's just like shoes. We all need a pair. It's just finding the right pair that fit.
Exactly.
Right? Again, not everybody's going to go our way, and not everybody's going to go.
Exactly.
But it's nice to know people like you. So when they come to us and I go, no, you might want to go see these guys instead.
And vice versa. People be like, this is not what I expected. I'm like, well, there are other things.
Other groups
that
do things differently.
There are worlds other than these.
Because none of us have the way.
Exactly. But we can all get together at events like this.
Yes.
I love what's happening here today, because you and I we're 10 feet apart. There's another group, catty corner to us, that runs a community group,
right?
Completely free of path
path.
censorship. That they are a multi-path, non-doctrinal community group, and that's wonderful.
Yes.
There's a free mom's hug. There's everything here, and we're all together, working together for a common goal.
Yes.
It pleases me so much.
It does me too. So I really do appreciate it. So good to see you.
So good to see you.
So, Joanne,
I'm up there.
yeah, there you are, Sinclair.
Yes.
NCP.
I just got divorced on Thursday.
So we're talking about divorce.
So how are you related to Tony?
So I've been with the Church of Wicca for almost 10 years now.
Okay.
I've been the chancellor for the past 2 or 3 years. Around, 2 or 3 years, yeah. Tony Brown was the first person from the Church of Wicca that I met. Back when we do an event called Wicca Wednesday, where we just kind of chill and we talk about witchy things on the first Wednesday of every month. But back then it was Pagans in the Park.
Right.
And I attended that that was like the first Wiccan event that I ever went to since moving back to North Carolina. And I went in and I sat down with Tony Brown and I said, I don't like Wicca. I identified as a pagan. I've been a practicing pagan since I was about 13. My introduction to paganism was Scott Cunningham.
Okay.
But my experience with Wicca up north was not a very good one. Lots of very traditional Gardnerian Wiccans were there. I went and I sat down with Tony Brown and I said, I don't really like Wicca, but changed my mind. And we talked about every book that I've read, and I just happened to have read a lot of books that he read, and I just kept going to their events, and now here I am.
So did you ever change your view on Wicca?
I did, yeah, I did. I identify more as an eclectic Wiccan, I think, not so traditional.
Right.
I think a lot of the people in the Church of Wicca identify as eclectic more than anything else. I am polytheistic. I work with 8 deities.
Okay.
On a more personal level, the first deities that I started working with were Gaia and Oranos.
All right.
So a lot of the deities I work with are more Greek. Tony Brown is Dionysus all the way. So we've had many conversations about that as well. In my personal practice at home, I still kind of follow that more eclectic vibe. A lot of my stuff is herbal based.
All right. Now, as the chancellor of Piedmont Church of Wicca, if
Yes.
I showed up, what am I getting?
So, if you came to one of our rituals,
If I came to one of your rituals,
All right.
give me kind of a little bit of a lowdown. What am I going to get?
So we meet once a month. So we meet for the Esbats and the Sabbats.
Okay.
If you come to an Esbat, it's a little more relaxed, a little more not so structured as our Sabbats are, I would say. For our Esbats, we schedule them with the phase of the moon.
Right.
And we do lots of different things for our Esbats. But when you come to a ritual, what you can expect is to find a bunch of pagans hanging out in the woods. And for a while, we just hang out, we socialize, we do a potluck, and then we do circle. And our rituals do follow a more Wiccan outline. We get in circle. We cast the circle, we call on the god and the goddess, and we encourage everyone that's in circle to call on their own personal deities in that moment. The high priest and the high priestess will call the god and the goddess, but you can fill that in with your own personal deities. And we'll do a little ritual, we'll do cakes and ale, we do prayers where we walk in the circle, everyone can say a prayer, but you don't have to. And then we close the circle. We call on the elements, dismiss the elements. It's not super formal, but there's still that formality to it.
Okay. So, in any other services, weddings, funerals?
Oh, yes.
I mean,
Yes. Well, being chancellor, I am not clergy.
Okay.
As chancellor, I handle more of the business part of the church. I lead the council in our meetings. Our business meetings are also open to the public, so we encourage lots of people to come to those, see how we operate. As chancellor, I represent the church in a more businessy manner, I would say. As not being clergy, I still counsel people as needed, but I do not perform weddings. However, our clergy do perform weddings, and I've been to many of them.
Well, then, what would it take to become a clergy through one of y'all?
Yeah, so to be clergy, we have a whole educational program that's led by our high priest and high priestess, and we are also working on a more formal educational program. I have written many pieces for that. To be clergy, we do the year and a day, and it's led by our high priest, so him and the high priestess will give you different homework assignments, basically.
Okay.
And then after that year and a day, they either recommend you to be clergy then, or they say, actually, we're going to keep going with your training and we'll get you there. If you come to us and you say you want to be clergy, our goal is to get you there.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself? Your temple? Any organizations that y'all are also involved in?
I don't know. Ask me questions. I'm better at answering questions.
We're all better at answering questions.
I think it would be interesting to go back to what you were saying about your experience up north versus
Down
Yeah. So I'm originally from Pittsburgh.
here. Okay.
And it's a huge city, lots of different stuff. My experience with pagan groups up north was really not great, and it could have been it was a different time. I was very, very young, and a lot of the people in those groups were significantly older than me, and I don't think they appreciated my input very much. I didn't move south until 18, so I was a child. They had no right to listen to me anyway. But I had read so much, and I had so many questions, and they didn't seem like they wanted to answer those questions. And when it came to finding specifically Wiccan groups, I found that they were more traditional to Gardner.
Right.
So they weren't very affirming as far as people within the LGBTQ community. They were not very open to different beliefs that didn't follow their strict structure.
Right.
And I did not follow that strict structure at all. So it's very different, and it could be super different now too. I haven't looked into any groups up north in many, many, many years, but it was a huge, huge difference. I spent a lot of time being a solitary practitioner. I've always come at paganism and at witchcraft from a very academic point of view. I study psychology, so my spirituality and my academia kind of go hand in hand a lot sometimes. That's all good. I lived in Hawaii for a long time, and I was a practicing pagan in Hawaii, and I spent a long time learning the native traditions there. And I never brought those into my own personal practice because I felt like that'd be kind of
weird,
disrespectful. But I appreciated learning about it a lot. And that's kind of how I come at being a pagan. I enjoy learning other people's
practices and
yeah.
what they do.
Yeah, I really like talking to people and learning how they incorporate their spirituality into other areas in their life.
Right. Trying to explain to people how in the world this is my life is really hard to explain to people. Like, you know, it does sort of take over every aspect of your life before you know it.
It does. It does. It definitely does. I have an 11-year-old, and he has been raised in that pagan household since he was born.
Right.
So that's been a journey too. When he was much younger, making things more magical was easier because now he's 11. But when he was little, we did a lot of where we had fairy houses and we would do offerings. Like, my offerings were much more regular when my kid was little and I could involve him more, and he was more, yeah, my mom's so cool. Now I'm not cool because he's 11. But that's been interesting too, raising a child that has no idea what that being brought up in Christianity is.
Okay.
That's been a fun thing.
All right. What other things have you done raising a son like this? That might be out of the unusual. For you with me, you know, what would you consider more the pagan way of growing up a kid?
So I would say, as far as raising kids with that pagan framework, is more like, he's growing up without any kind of religious trauma. He's very educated in not just paganism, but he is also very educated in Christianity and Judaism and Catholicism and several other religion and spiritual paths. He's been raised in a way that we practice this.
How the hell did you do all that?
I read way too much. Listen, I read so much. But he's aware that these other religions and these other belief systems exist, and that gives him the opportunity to kind of just have that baseline respect for all of these other different practices, because he's grown up in the pagan community. So he knows we do it this way at home, we do it this way at church, and other people do it this way, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
The differences are what makes it beautiful.
Well, I think it's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be kind of boring if we're all the same.
Right. Right. So he's very aware of the different paths within paganism. For the longest time, he was obsessed with Zeus and Thor at the same time. And I was like, hey, man, that's kind of weird, but I dig it. Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, also had a statue of Kali in his room.
Amazing.
For the longest time. And he would do his own little offerings. And he's just been, being a pagan parent's been interesting.
Lady Keegan's oldest boy used to associate Lulaw Giffies with Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
Because they both lost
Yeah, I dig that. He's, yeah, like, and he also knows, like, again, my practice is rooted in herbalism a whole bunch.
Right.
So, like, my kid, when he gets sick, it's not like, let's drink all the Tylenol in the world. It's, oh no, mom's gonna make me drink that gross fire cider again. So, like, it's things like that, or it's things like our holidays. Our holidays are kind of different.
Yes.
And when he was smaller, he was able to stay home from school to celebrate the Sabbaths at home, because we would do our own thing at home. And his school couldn't really argue with me, so that made a difference too.
That made a difference in that?
It did make a difference with the school system for sure. They learned a couple things for sure. He's also the kid that will take a pentagram to show and tell. So that's been a fun journey for sure.
Anything else you'd like to discuss?
Not that I can think of. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions except for how can people get a hold of you?
Yes, you can find me on Facebook. Look my name up, Joanne Sinclair, because I just got divorced. I'm also on the North Carolina Piedmont Church of Wicca Facebook somewhere, but yeah, I'm super easy to get a hold of. I promise. I'm super findable online. I'm also super active in every other part of the community in Shelby. So I'm the president of the local Pride group as well. So you can find me through Shelby Pride. You can find me I organize community gardens in Shelby. So anything associated with Shelby that's more progressive and commie sounding, I'm probably part of it.
All right.
So that's how you can find me.
All right. Hey, it was nice having you.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Hi, Monica. How are you?
I'm good.
All right.
How about you?
I'm great. Hey, tell me about yourself.
Well, born and raised in upstate South Carolina.
Okay.
Went to school at Clemson and have been here just about all of my life except for 4 years when I was in New Jersey, which needs to be chiseled off the United States of America and floated out as an island.
All right. I'll take your word for that. I was born in North Carolina.
Yeah. North Carolina, South Carolina, we're all Carolina.
Yeah, just saying. So this is kind of funny because you're at a pagan event, but you're not pagan.
I am not pagan, but I have a belief in the concept of doing no harm.
Okay.
Because I believe that's just a different way of what Jesus said, love God, love others. And so how can you love others? The best is do no harm.
Do no harm. I completely agree with that.
Raised Christian, United Methodist, currently in a church, Baptist in Greenville, South Carolina, that actually is LGBTQ friendly. We were kicked out of the Southern Conference because we marry people that want to love who they want to love. And the first time I pastor married two men, the Southern Conference said you can no longer be affiliated with us, but we still call ourselves a Baptist church.
All right.
A third of the congregation is in the LGBTQ.
Okay.
Third.
Okay.
Couples with kids. It's really wonderful. It's a wonderful environment to be at. I really love my church.
All right. It seems like a rather large church.
It is. It is a very large church. In fact, we're getting ready to rebuild because we've grown so much. Mm-hmm.
So what brings you out here to the pagan event and hanging out with us weirdos?
Well, my husband actually is the medic for the event.
Yes, and we do appreciate that.
Yeah, and he's very good at what he does, so y'all are very fortunate.
Thank you.
But mostly, just to be around people of like-minded and to see how happy everyone is, and how helpful, how appreciative, how just accepting, and I wish our world could be more like that. And I'm not saying that one should practice one religion or another.
Right.
Just the concept of do no harm. Imagine how different our world would be if we did that, if all of us thought that. Now, I was talking to one of your friends that asked me,
Lady Alba.
Lady Alba, how are you here? How are you here? And I'm like, well, let me tell you, make sure we understand. I am a Christian, professed by faith.
Right.
However, I do believe in Mother Earth. I believe that God is both male and female, and the reason I believe that is because all life starts as female, and it either becomes a male or it stays a female.
Right.
So in that case, if we're created in God's image, which I believe means that we all have a soul, not that we look like God, but we all have a soul, then God must have created us as both, but he separated us to procreate.
Right.
Because he had to do that. So the whole concept of the separation of belief in Mother Earth and the belief in Christianity, I don't get it. I'm not saying that there aren't differences, but you know what? There's difference between us and Catholics too.
True.
Big differences.
There's some big differences there.
Big difference. Virgin Mary? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that, should I?
I was raised Southern Baptist. I've been down that path before,
exactly what I'm
I know where
about.
you. Again, accent.
Right. We do have that, don't we?
We do, don't we?
Southern. I call myself Southern.
I am very proud of my accent at
I
times.
am too. I pull it out every once in a while when I need to.
And especially when I'm up north.
Yes.
Because everybody looks at you going,
They're looking. I did it one time when I was in London traveling,
oh God.
and my cab driver was like, Are you from America? I said, yes, I am. What part? He said, I said, Southeast. He said, like John Wayne type of talk. Did you talk like that? And then I started, and he was like, oh my God, can I record you?
I got a job up in Maryland, and I walked into my first restaurant up there, and I looked at him and said, what fixings come with that? And the woman looking at me going, what are you talking?
When I was in New Jersey, I went in a store and asked for a buggy. And they said, huh? I said, buggy that you push around, a buggy. Oh, you mean a cart? I said, well, yeah, I guess you can call it that, but it's a buggy. Do you have any?
But you think there's small differences like that in real world we find funny, but when we look at religion, not understanding some of these words sometimes can cause a whole lot of problems.
You know what? And a lack of being willing to
learn.
even understand and learn. When I think of paganism, and when I invited a great many people. We were at an upstate Renaissance fair recently here in it was in Greenville. Uh-huh. And everybody I met, I'm like, hey, do you know about the Pagan festival? Like, pagan? I said, wait a minute. Not the horns and tails and stuff. I said, this is a connection to Mother Earth. I invited everybody that I talked to this event because, we're really good friends with Ken Clardy. My husband's been with the festival as a medic since 2012. So we've been here a long time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. I didn't realize it had been him this whole entire time.
It's been him this whole entire time.
Because we've been coming off and on over the years. So.
Well, I'm glad y'all are here today.
I am glad we are here, too.
You see my book I just got?
Yeah,
Soul Lessons and Soul Purpose. And you know what? There's a whole lot in here that can be leaked straight to Jesus Christ. I went on Amazon to look it up to see how much it cost. About $15 bucks.
Yeah.
Used 6, so I went and bought it. And I'm going to read it.
Right.
And I read my Bible now. Let's get it right. All right. But at the same time, I believe that there's room for love in other places as well.
Okay.
But I am a professed Christian of faith. So
it was so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
You're such a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
God.
you. I really appreciate your opportunity to speak with you.
I would love to. I can't wait for people to hear what you got to say.
I hope they like it too.
Hey, welcome.
Hello!
Can you introduce yourself?
So, my name is Angelica Herandale, and I own Morningstar Healing and Magic.
Okay. And what else?
So we do a lot of deity work, centric work. So the newest item is kind of the mini travel altars for different deities.
Okay.
And it has custom artwork that I made and custom prayers. And it has a small little chaplet in there, a couple herbs, and then a tea light. And so you can travel with it, and it's fun.
All right, so mainly you just own a shop, and you're up here doing your shop, right?
Yes, I also do readings, but I do them because I'm not from around here. I'm based in Charlotte, in North Carolina.
So are we.
Oh, perfect. See? We're in Concord. I only say Charlotte because most people are like, Concord.
Concord, yeah.
You know the Concord.
You know the Concord. I love that. So I go to the Bag Lady and I read there every third Sunday. And I do tarot and then whatever comes through with spirit. But yeah, so I have a couple different traditions, but I try to follow.
What is your main tradition that you follow?
I don't have a main one. I do work with a lot of different deities and spirits. So I work with infernals, I work with Greek deities, I work with Santa Muerte. Like, it's just a kind of a mod podge of all of them. So, yeah, they kind of direct me and kind of where I need to go.
Now, why Morningstar?
Star.
So I work with Lucifer, and his light has been very bright in my life. And when I was rebranding from, it used to be named Angel Dream Creations. When I was rebranding, I made sure that my logo had Lucifer, Hecate, and Loki in it, and they were represented. And then when I was thinking of a name, I wanted healing to be in there because I always aim for people to feel better going out of a tarot reading than coming in. And I'm also a Reiki practitioner, so I like to make sure that everyone's, all good and being able to hold the space for them. So when I was looking for the name, that's when he was like, you should use Morningstar. And I'm like, okay. Because I like to be that light for people, so.
Now, with working with Morningstar, I guess we need to go through the whole entire thing. Can you please give all the disclaimers and
so when you were
so, you know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
we're not talking about the people everybody thinks we're talking about.
Yeah,
blah, blah.
So Lucifer Morningstar is not. He is an infernal. It is not based in the Christian pantheon, if you could call it a pantheon. Christian realm, but if you want to work with infernals, you have to be careful when approaching them. You have to know what you're getting into, and a lot of it is experience-based type work because there's not a lot of books, like how-to books out there, even though I wish there was. So it's a lot of learning through like trial and error and just being kind of open to learning those lessons. So if you're not open to learning lessons, then probably shouldn't work with infernals right away. I didn't start working with infernals until probably within the past year.
What brought you to working with them more than?
So I got a reading with, I'm calling her my business partner today because we've been together. And this was like way before like we were friends, and I got a reading from her and she's like, hey, Lucifer's coming in, like he wants to work with you. Apparently he's like ancestral for me. And I was like, oh, okay. I know nothing about that, but like I'm open to, seeing. And that's when I kind of I was like, sure, why not? So that's kind of, my first one was Hecate, and then just kind of slowly they've gone in and out depending on, because I worked with Persephone at one point. So it just, when you're doing deity work, it's not all of them are going to be permanent, like all the time.
No, No, they're going to change as you change and
Yeah.
grow up and.
Yes, yes. And I mean, they're definitely there to teach you lessons. I mean, there's even working with like Santa Muerte, like she is a saint for everybody, but again, you need to know like what you're getting into with her. She is not one that you can just be, it's not one you should be like, oh my God, I'm just going to work with her today. No, you need to make sure you know what you're getting into so that you are not breaking any promises that you make to them.
It's about a relationship.
Yes. Yes. They are not transactional. I do not believe, especially her, but they are not transactional deities. It is building that relationship of understanding them and having them understand you as well, because it's that back and forth. So,
how do you recommend that people go about building those relationships?
So in a typical instance, like with the more well-known pantheons like Greek, Celtic, Norse, like those ones, there's a lot of books out there. Norse, you have to be careful because there are white supremacists in that, so be careful. But research, and research more. Like, research. More so just because you want to know kind of what drives them and what drives you to work with them. So like with Hecate, she is definitely that torch that guides me through like darker times. Loki is my chaos manager.
I think he accepts the title.
Yeah. He definitely helps kind of like when chaotic things come my way. Like, I used to not be able to handle those changes so quickly. And now like when change comes, I'm like, all right, what's next? But definitely just being open to like sitting with them and understanding. I definitely think understanding what drives them the most is the biggest thing. And just being able to have that time like set aside to have a candle at their altar. And even if you can't have an altar or like a candle, because you don't need the stuff, you just need them, and you just need you and your relationship to them. But if you can have a candle, then it's great to give them light. But yeah, it's really just, I mean, it's how you build a relationship with a person, right? So it's just sitting there and learning.
Yeah, I would agree. Do you have an actual shop in Concord, or how can people get in touch with you? All that. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. So I don't have a physical shop, but I have a Ko-Fi, which it's Morningstar Healing and Magic under the Ko-Fi. And then I am at the Bag Lady every third Sunday from most of the time 1 to 5 reading tarot. So yeah, those are the two places. And at festivals randomly. So the next one that we're gonna have is the Witches Bazaar in Salisbury. And then there's one at Troust Brewery in November, I believe. So yeah, I'm around.
Well, we look forward
to seeing you again.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn. I'm the co-founder of Upstate Ethereal Explorers. I live in Greer, but our group is based in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, tell me more about your group.
Yeah, so the Upstate Ethereals are basically a non-dogmatic kind of social group. We like to put on social events to help people expand their spirituality while also building community and giving them that space from deconstruction of suppressive organized religious structures to finding what works for them and kind of expanding from that. But yeah.
Oh, what do y'all do? What kind of activities do y'all do?
Yeah, so we host events like our main event is called Tarot Tuesday,
right?
Where we go to Southern Side Brewing in Greenville, South Carolina, and people of all experience levels of tarot come. We even get people who have never done tarot before or don't even know what tarot is, but they're just interested. And we always love those curious explorers. I mean, that's in our name, explorers. We want people who are seeking. We want people who are always curious and always wanting to know more. And so we like bridging the gaps of people who don't know anything about this kind of stuff, meeting people who have been in practice for 20, 30 years.
So y'all have some workshops too?
Yes, so we occasionally do workshops. One of the most recent ones we did is a ritual and modern life workshop, where it's kind of helping people understand that in the busy hustle bustle of late stage capitalism, they can do ritual, even if it's the mundane, even if it's brushing your teeth and, you know, having the intention of, I'm going to communicate clearly and properly and with full authenticity today. That's ritual. You know, ritual, you can have planned out, intensive, thorough ritual, but it can also just be the mundane. There can be magical in the mundane throughout your daily life. And that's just kind of what that ritual is about. But yeah.
So let me ask you, what inspired you to start such a group?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
where did this come from?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. And there was a little social event there where we lived, my wife and I. She's the other co-founder, Rin. And it was also called Tarot Tuesday. And it was just kind of a little gathering of pagans in Charlotte. And we really enjoyed it. We found community there. And we found people that we really resonate with. We moved to Greer, South Carolina, almost 2 years ago, and there wasn't anything like that here. We kind of missed our weekly gathering of just people that are kindred spirits, people who practice the same thing that we do. And so why not make it ourselves, you know?
Let's ask that question. What do y'all practice? What do you
of course.
believe? What do you
Yes,
believe in?
yes.
I assume your group don't really believe.
Yes, of course.
Everybody's a little different.
Yeah,
but what
of
do you
course.
believe in?
So my personal, I fall under many different labels. I am a witch. I am a Celtic pagan. I'm a spiritualist. I mean, I that's the thing I love about my group, is that there's so many different kinds of practices in our sphere that a lot of things resonate. You know, the more you expose yourself to, the more you think, oh, I resonate with that. I like that practice. I want to adopt a little bit of that into my life. And I don't think there's, I can't call myself one thing, you know?
What kind of faith do you follow? I mean,
oh, absolutely. I think that it's hard to pick one. I mean, I worship the Morgan,
okay,
as my deity, and I also follow a lot of Celtic paganism, and at the same time, I have just different spiritual beliefs about reincarnation. I believe in multiple lives. I believe in different forms of the afterlife, and I think that I find resonance with a lot of different religions, and so I can't just call myself one thing. I think that you can take bits and pieces of many different religions and say, no one is completely incorrect.
Nobody's completely right either.
That's correct, yeah. And that's why I can't call myself one thing, you know? Yeah. But, and it's that kind of exploration that I found myself in my own practice that is part of the reason we tell everyone to just keep exploring. And we're never done learning, you know?
No, we never are.
No.
I mean, we've heard this throughout this same theme throughout the day, that everybody can believe different stuff and still get along.
Exactly. I think that one of the things that's been most powerful about our group and what I have enjoyed the most is seeing people of different generations also come together. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of people that are still in college, you know, and are just finding their footing in their own spirituality, meeting with people who are in their 50s and 60s, and they're friends, and they can talk about similar things because of spirituality, even though they're from completely different worlds.
Well, it also helps when, you know, the younger people realize this older people are just as confused as they are some of the times.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you don't get that by not talking to us.
No, yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, there's so much to learn from, there's so much to learn from the older generations, and the older generations can learn from the younger generations, and it just makes me just so thrilled to see people coming together from different backgrounds and different creeds and different practices. And even if something doesn't resonate for someone else, just the knowledge of, oh, that's a really interesting practice that I've never heard of, you know?
I can understand that. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, reverence and respect. That's what we're all about. But
how can anybody find your group or any information on your group?
So we're primarily on Facebook at Upstate Ethereals. That's our handle. You can also find us on Linktree at Linktree /Upstate Ethereals. And yeah, you can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and we're also building a website right now, and that's going to be upstateethereals.com.
Okay, great.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you so
meet
much.
Thank you. Hi. Well, let's start off by introducing yourself.
Well, my name is Jennifer. Like was stated, my husband and I started Two Crafty Ravens about 8 years ago, just because we wanted something a little extra, a little fun to do.
Okay.
You know, side hustle, make a little extra money. And we've been doing it for 8 years now, so we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody in the community knows us.
All right.
And it's been a lot of fun.
Now,
A lot of trial and error with things, but I think we've kind of gotten it down to like we can unload quickly, set up, get done.
You
go.
got it down to a science.
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely.
All right. Now, in doing all of this, you happen to have seen a problem in the community, you think?
Well, we are.
I don't want to say a problem, but an issue that should be addressed.
Yes, definitely. Being practitioners of the Norse Path, one of the things that we notice is that a lot of white supremacists, racists, they like to use symbols that they just take from other places, as we've seen through history. And more recently, people going around carrying Nazi flags right next to rune flags and, you know, claiming to be Viking and all this other stuff, and how you can't be Viking if you're not white.
It's very difficult to be pagan and use certain symbols without any backlash.
Exactly. There's like a whole list of them. So.
All right. In which, again, I think the symbols need to be redeemed back to what they were.
Yeah, we need them back. They're not to be used for hate.
I don't.
So, yeah.
So, but you started this program. So tell me about this program. What is?
I wouldn't say necessarily it's a program so much as
or-
just we saw this and we were just like, you know what? I saw on Facebook Thor hates racists.
Right.
And I reached out to them and I asked if I could use their symbolism when we were vending, because our community, we wanted to make sure that in the Norse community at least, it was very apparent that we did not support that. We would not accept racists. We would not, that we're intolerant of intolerance.
Right.
So, and they said, yeah, absolutely. So if you see our booth, you'll see a poster in the back that says Freya hates racists.
Right.
It was their design there, and I used it with their permission, and bottom it even says used by permission. And from that, it just kind of spiraled into, I started seeing things like, you know, no Nazis in Valhalla. And I'm like, oh, I can make a sticker for that. I'm a graphic designer by trade.
Okay.
And I did. Freya hates racist. I turned that into a bumper sticker. And the no Nazis in Valhalla, he's called the All Father, not the Some Father. And people really, really liked the bumper stickers. But being where we are, a lot of people were a little hesitant to put a big, huge bumper sticker like that on their car. So I started making little 2-inch round stickers that we just give out when we're vending, of all of those, just to say we feel very strongly about the message and we want it everywhere.
Has anybody started to ask for bigger stickers yet?
No, actually, more recently we've been selling more of the bumper stickers, and which is a little surprising considering how everything has been lately. I would think people would be a little more hesitant, but people are more vocal about it, and I'm just like, I'm all for it. Go for it. Great. Yeah. And I run out of the little giveaway stickers. We did Ren Fair a couple weeks ago, and we literally ran out of all of them.
So I'm assuming the overall response to the campaign,
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
campaign y'all were doing, is actually been received positive.
Yeah, people absolutely love it. People love the idea. They come in, they tell us, I'm so glad that you do this. You know, I'm glad that there's people that say this, that are standing up for this.
Have you heard from the opposite?
I'm sorry, I do have to ask the question, because that's my next one is, have you had any backlash or anything?
We have a 3x5, or 2x, a very large pride flag hanging in the back of our booth.
Right.
So we haven't really had people walk in that aren't open-minded, that aren't going to be accepting of what we're saying. We make it very apparent that if you are that type of a person, you will not feel comfortable in here, because we won't allow racists and things like that.
Now, again, in that situation, and again, situations like this, no, I don't expect that here.
Yeah.
All right. Online, have you seen any backlash to some of the things you're promoting on this?
No, and our Facebook page, we do have a lot of things posted about, very strongly with all of this, anti-hate, and have never had any kind of a backlash on that.
And I just wanted to make sure, but
thankfully, but I mean, we're not, nationally broadcast anywhere, so it's not. We're probably not on a lot of people's radar. So.
Well, now.
Yeah, I know. But
hopefully,
it'll make just get people to understand that it's just we don't tolerate hate.
What would you like people to get from your message mainly? Most of all.
Most of all is that first and foremost, pagans are different, but I've always thought the idea that there are many paths to the top of the mountain.
Right.
No one path is right, no one path is wrong. Just get to the top of the mountain however you feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. But for us specifically with the Norse path, we will not allow people to co-opt it for hate.
I completely agree with you there. That's a little bit different for me. So.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate being given this opportunity. I appreciate it very, very much.
I hope the message gets out there and more people will help and pick it up.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Continue on. It'd be nice to know that halfway across the country, someone's doing the same thing now.
And not just in the city. Someone pulls up next to me at a stoplight, and they're like, "Hey, two crafty ravens," because we have it on the back of our vehicles, So.
How can people get in touch with you or check out your products?
We are on Facebook. Our Facebook page is the number 2, Crafty Ravens. We do also have a website that's 2 spelled out, TWO, Crafty Ravens. It's kind of under construction, so it may or may not be updated, but Facebook is always updated with events that we're doing, thoughts that we have, things like that.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, I hope you get some followers off of this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another episode. Pagan Coffee Talk is brought to you by Life Temple and Seminary. Please visit us at lifetempleseminary.org for more information, as well as links to our social media: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit.
We travel down this trodden path, a maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning